of Anna Dutra, who's a PhD researcher at Newcastle University, and she's going to tell a little bit more about her research career so far.
So first I did a bachelor at the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, where my topic was chemistry with technological emphasis. And then I moved to the University of Greenwich, in Greenwich in the UK, where I did a BSc in chemistry. And then after that I moved to Newcastle University to do my PhD in computational chemistry for solid-state batteries.
So behind Anna you can actually see her award-winning poster. She told me this poster has been from Australia to Switzerland and I guess here in Newcastle as well. And so she won a prize at last year's RSC Twitter poster conference. But can you tell me a little bit about your research interests, Anna?
Yeah, sure. So my research looks in modeling different materials for solid-state batteries. So for those who do not know, solid-state batteries, they use all solids in the architecture, different than normal batteries that use liquid parts as well. And they are very much in vogue now because they can bring a lot of advantages to the table, like make your batteries lighter, more efficient, more stable as well. So one of the things that we do is model these materials with the computers to find out if the lithium-ion diffusion in these materials will be good or bad, and go on from that. And so this is one of the big interests is solid-state batteries and renewable energies in a whole. Just know that whatever research we're doing is contributing to that is a big part of my interests, especially solid-state battery.
Oh, it sounds very interesting. So you're doing computational modeling. Do you also do some experimental work, or do you work with people who do experimental work for you?
Yeah. So my part is mainly the computational part. So my work is to understand the software and the theory behind the softwares, to model these materials and see what the results mean. And we do work with a team of experimentalists that are based in their university, and they are conducting experiments, and then we can sit and chat and see how the results are aligning with them.
So tell me, why did you want to do a PhD, and I guess why at Newcastle University?
Right, great question. So when I was finishing my BScs in the final year, we had to do a final year project. So basically you would create your own project and see from beginning to end. And that was really fun for me. And just learning the theories behind it, applying things that I had learned before in uni, in normal classes, and getting my results and understanding them and seeing all the challenges, the ups and downs of having your own project. That was really fun. And when I finished, I didn't want it to stop there, and I wanted to do something for longer, for deeper, and keep going with this roller coaster of learning, applying, failing, going again and again.
Really becoming an expert, I guess, in one particular.
Yeah, and you learn so much. There's never a point that you know everything, and every week someone publishes something different that changes your view in things. So I don't know, I just like the roller coaster that is to do a project, I guess, and that was what motivated for the PhD. And Newcastle University always had a very important place in my heart because all the times that I kept coming back here or doing presentations around here, everyone that I met from Newcastle University, they were always very nice. And then when it was time to apply, it was definitely one of the first ones that I thought about applying because the feedback I had from Newcastle was always very good.
Oh, okay, that's interesting to know. And I guess so. Why computational modeling?
Well, on my final year in Federal University in Rio, we did a module on computational chemistry, and our module in biochemistry as well. One of the things that we looked at was how computational chemistry was used to facilitate the mutation of bacterial DNA. And I remember that I thought it was amazing that computers could do that. It's the closest thing we have to actually predicting the future. If you know what I mean. We can in a research get a material, and then with the theory and with the software we can tell if it's going to be a good bet or a bad bet for experimentalists. And I don't know, I just think this is fascinating that I can live in in a symbiotic way with the computer, that we are both helping each other. I couldn't do my work without the computer, and then the computer wouldn't be able to do the work without me, so we are kind of parting it up to do something amazing, actually predicting things. I think that thing of like knowing the future beforehand. I think that was what really caught me. And
yeah. Hey, so if you think of like future challenges for your research, what do you think the main challenges will be that we have to tackle?
right, so me personally, there are two things like in the future until I finish my PhD. One of them, I'm going to dive in and learn about density functional theory, DFT, which is a different type of analyzing the materials I've been analyzing for the past 2 years. And after that, the group as a whole, we also want to dive into the machine learning bit, so we can analyze our materials for longer and also with higher accuracy, which is also good. So for me personally, these are the two main challenges.
Yeah, and I guess that's more complicated modeling than you're doing at the moment, isn't it?
Absolutely. So, yeah, it was a step by step. We started with more simpler kind of simulations, and then we're going to the very like end of high tech things. So for me, these are the two main challenges: getting the grip with the theories and doing experiments. And batteries wise, challenges that we can talk about that are ahead that we still need to work out as a community would be especially like where even like if we have a technology ready to go, something that's very nice, we still need to think about where we're going to get the materials from. Is it an ethic way to do that? Is there like a sustainable way to do that?
So obviously you're from Brazil, which is quite different from the UK in terms of weather, food, lots of other things. So how have you, how do you find Newcastle so far?
Yeah, food.
Food.
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot. Yeah. Is it meat or what is it particularly that you miss here?
Oh, everything. Definitely like the diversity of fruit we have in Brazil is quite different.
Because of the weather is much better.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff. But no, it's been great. So Newcastle itself, it was a great experience, has been a great experience because for those who have never been Newcastle, Newcastle isn't either like a very small city and isn't either a very big city, and for me this is perfect. So we have all the entertainment that we could need. We have a cinema, theater, different restaurants, so that's pretty cool, but it's not too big that I need to have public transport to go everywhere. I can walk the entire city centre without being tired. So that for me is very important. And also being from Brazil and from Rio, growing up with the ocean everywhere, is very important to me that we have like the river that can see water and like just breathe water, if that makes any sense.
It makes you feel at home a little bit, I guess.
Although it's very interesting because if I go somewhere without any body of water close to me, I do feel a bit like, trapped in some way. So now it's nice, here it's nice, I can see the river flowing.
Yeah, no beach in the city, unfortunately.
Well, we can have everything. But no, that's very, very important. It brings a sense of comfort, and the region as well. Like if you go, like we are close to Edinburgh, we're close to York, and the nature around here as well, with all like the little islands and all that. I think we're very lucky. It's definitely one of my favorite like regions in the UK by miles.
Oh, great! So like I've been to Rio, but for people who are watching it, can you tell me a little bit about the city?
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of like the seaside is just gorgeous. Well, I'm totally biased, but you have the most like beautiful type of blue in the ocean there. Sunset in Rio is something else. It's a very interesting geography because you have the seaside and the ocean, but you also have like all the mountains as well. You have of course like Christ the Redeemer. For those who like football, you have Maracanã, which is like the biggest stadium, very traditional as well. And because of Carnival and because of the Brazilian people as a whole, it's a very like happy, lively, like music-filled.
Lots of things to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So that and a lot of good food.
So can you tell me a little bit more about your hobbies? What do you like to do outside of science?
Right. So I think there are two main ones that are kind of connected to each other. I really like to read a lot, especially like fiction books or like romance, fantasy, things like that. And I also love classical cinema. So like the black and white movies, the one made like in the 30s and 40s. And the connection I see between them is that I think they are the closest we have to traveling back in time. So in a parallel, if like modeling is seeing the future, I think these things are seeing the past. And it's pretty interesting because when you get a movie done like in the 30s, you can see a glimpse of how their life was there. And you're literally seeing, hearing and reading things that people who are not here anymore did or wrote. And this connection I think is pretty something.
Okay, so we all know a PhD is quite challenging, but in your whole kind of like research career, what have you been most proud of so far?
Right. So one of the things that I think I'm most proud of was one of the first times that I had to use my abilities to code to sort out a problem in my current research. So basically I needed to create defects inside the crystal structure, and I had to use coding skills to do that. And I think and I did it. So the thing I think that made me the most proud of that was that in the beginning when I got this assignment, my first reaction was like, I can't do that, I don't know how to do that, and panic, which is always the first step to anything new. But then I think I'm so proud of it because I was able to do that, and it was the first like huge challenge computational-wise that I was able to successfully like finish. And because of that, I think that gave me a big confidence that I could actually do what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, because I don't think you get a lot of computational modeling like during your degree, isn't it? So you had to learn a lot of new skills.
Yeah, absolutely. So we learned Python as normal, but the whole part of like dealing with the HPCs, computers, and just sorting out things is a bit different when you have like a normal BSc Python assignment than actually like a real research assignment. Is quite different. And I really panicked that, but just the feeling that you have, and I think that's what I love the most about research, is like you think you can't do it, but then you learn and then you do it. That thing is really what makes me go in, and that was a pivotal moment in the PhD for sure.